Did you know you can actually jump over the clown kick? This guide will take a deep dive into every monster in R.E.P.O. And before we begin, we want to point out something important. Whenever you're slamming a monster because you've got enough strength to lift it, it's a good idea to release and grab it again after each slam.
This prevents the monster from breaking out of the grabbed state, since if you hold on to it too long, the game will eventually force a release, almost like there's a hidden timer. So while you're tossing monsters around, be sure to briefly let go and grab again to keep that timer from kicking in.
Starting with the peeper, also known as the eye. It's that floating eyeball on the ceiling that forces you to look at it. If you stare at it too long, it starts dealing 2 damage per second. To handle this monster in R.E.P.O, we need to break its line of sight using anything available. You can step out of the room and use a wall for cover, or crouch under tables. Anything that blocks its view works.
While it's locked onto you, opening the map can help with navigation. It prevents you from falling into pits and helps you find your way out of the room.
One big trick is to use items to block its view. Large objects, even health packs, can be carried in your inventory and used to break line of sight. Once that connection is broken, just wait a few seconds and the eye will disappear. Just make sure no one else walks into the room and reactivates it, or it'll stick around longer.
The duck, or apex predator, is a monster with 150 HP that deals 10 damage per hit. It constantly tries to stay in your line of sight, hoping you'll grab it. But grabbing the duck actually triggers its aggressive mode, causing it to chase you for a short time before calming down again.
If the duck takes any damage, even from other monsters, it becomes extremely aggressive, so our safest strategy in R.E.P.O is to keep our distance and avoid provoking it. If we accidentally aggro it, it's best to run and put space between us and the duck. In some situations, sprinting in circles around it can help avoid getting hit, but walking won't cut it. You need to be fast.
The easiest way to get rid of this monster is by using cauldrons, toilets, pits, or extraction points. Just aim the cursor at one of those and look slightly upward to make the duck leap into it. And if we have a strong enough tumble launch, it's also pretty simple to dive straight into it for the kill.
The animal is a monster with 150 HP that only deals 2 damage per hit. More of a nuisance than a real threat. When it spots you, it panics and charges straight at you. After knocking you down, it just runs around wildly without much purpose. If you climb onto a table or any elevated surface, it can't reach you and will continue running around in a frenzy.
Once we have 4 strength, we can easily pick up this enemy and toss it around, or throw it into a pit. You can also rely on your teammates to do the same. Both of these strategies make dealing with the animal in R.E.P.O pretty straightforward.
The Boaty is a monster with 100 HP that deals 5 damage per hit during its wind-blowing attack. It's a line-of-sight based enemy that blasts wind directly at you, and if you don't get behind cover quickly, it can deal a surprising amount of damage.
Every now and then, after an attack, the Boaty will stomp off and run a good distance away. Once we have around 7 strength, we can pick it up directly from the ground and throw it. Interestingly, the Boaty's wind attack can also hit and damage other monsters, which can be useful in some situations.
When it comes to dealing with the Boaty in R.E.P.O, we recommend just avoiding it. It's pretty simple to stay out of its way, but if you do want to take it down, the tranq gun or shotgun are both very effective options.
The Robe is a monster with 250 HP that deals 100 damage with its standing attack and 50 damage while crouched. It's a line-of-sight-based enemy, meaning if it sees you, it will slowly follow from behind. But the moment you look at it, it dashes toward you.
The best strategy in R.E.P.O is to keep walking away without making eye contact. You can use the edge of your screen to track how close it is. It's pretty easy to escape by crouching behind an object or hiding under a table. On longer tables, you can avoid its attacks entirely and just watch it wiggle at you.
You can also take advantage of this behavior to support your teammates. By staying under a table and grabbing the robe occasionally, you can keep it focused on you while staying out of range. Just be cautious, because its attacks damage all nearby players, not just the one it's targeting.
Once we reach 13 strength, we can pick up the robe and toss it around. But overall, it's better to eliminate it using weapons like the tranq gun, shotgun, or grenades. Anything with enough firepower to finish it off.
The Rugrat, also known as the Baby, is a frustrating enemy that grabs your loot and hurls it back at you, dealing significant damage both to you and to the valuable item. It seems like the bigger the object it throws, the more damage it deals.
The baby has 150 horsepower and can be picked up and thrown around once we reach strength level 4. If a few teammates are nearby, it can also be picked up together. One of the most effective ways to handle it in R.E.P.O is by using the scroll wheel to repeatedly hit it with a smaller item. This lets us easily take it down.
It's definitely worth dealing with, since the orbit drops sells for around $4,000.
The clown is a monster with 250 HP and 2 different attacks. Its first attack is a laser that it charges up and always aims at your head. So if the clown targets you while you're standing, just crouch to avoid the beam. If it starts shooting when you're already crouched, simply jump over the laser.
After firing the laser, if you're still in its line of sight, it will rush at you and try to kick you. You can actually dodge this by jumping right as it pulls its leg back.
The laser deals 100 damage and the kick does 60. Since it's based on line of sight, crouching and moving carefully really helps avoid detection. Once we reach 13 strength, we can pick up the clown and toss it around to deal with it more easily.
The huntsman is unlike other monsters because it reacts entirely to sound. Any noise will cause it to shoot in that direction. This includes things like using text chat, other monsters making noise, or even bumping into something.
The huntsman has 250 horsepower and deals 100 damage if it hits you with its shot. You can start picking it up once you reach 9 strength.
There are a few very effective tricks for handling the huntsman in R.E.P.O. First, when it's going downstairs, it will usually fall. That's a great moment to grab it and drag it into a pit. Another trick, discovered by warps, doesn't require any upgrades. If you hide behind a wall, right as you grab the huntsman, you can bait out its shot safely. Then, by holding the right mouse button and dragging your mouse upward, you can rotate the huntsman and cause it to fall.
From there, just grab its legs and start slamming it up and down. Make sure to release and re-grab after each slam so it doesn't recover and get back up.
The chef, also known as the frog, is a relatively easy monster to deal with. It has 150 horsepower and deals 10 damage per hit. When it sees you, it pulls out its knives and prepares to attack. During its attack, it lunges forward while wildly swinging its knives. But if you simply move out of the way as it jumps, it's pretty easy to dodge.
While it's in this attack animation, it can be picked up and slammed if multiple people are helping. You can also pick up the chef on your own once we reach 9 strength. If you don't have enough strength to lift it and don't want to waste weapons, just use the scroll wheel to throw small items at it. That's a really simple way to take it down.
The headman has 250 horsepower, deals 50 damage per hit, and can be picked up and thrown once you reach 13 strength. When it spots you, it will dash at you with high speed, making it one of the faster enemies in R.E.P.O. It really helps to crouch around this monster. If you're standing with your flashlight on, it can spot and aggro you from a long distance.
Your best move when escaping the headman is to break line of sight and hide under a table. One trick we found is to crouch slide underneath him while he's aggroed. If you stay crouched after sliding, you'll only take 50 damage and he'll lose track of you.
So far, there doesn't seem to be a perfect method to kill the headman without either reaching 13 strength, using a medium-sized item, or relying on weapons from the shop.
The hidden is an invisible enemy, and you can barely spot it by watching for faint footsteps as it moves. It has 100 horsepower and can be picked up once you reach strength level 4. The hidden is sight-based. If it sees you, it will chase, grab, and carry you a long distance. While it doesn't deal any direct damage, it can put you in serious danger by dropping you into a pit or dragging you straight into another enemy.
It's best to pick it up as soon as possible if you have 4 strength, or just throw small items at it to keep it under control. If you do get grabbed, a teammate can actually save you by grabbing you away from the hidden before it drags you too far.
The Mentalist, also known as the Alien, has 150 HP and deals 50 damage with its attack. When it sees you, it will float toward your position, and once it gets close, it lifts you, along with anything nearby, into the air, trapping you so you can't escape. After a few moments, it slams you down, dealing 50 damage.
During this animation, a teammate with enough range can actually grab you out of the bubble to save you before the slam happens.
The Alien can be picked up at just 4 strength, which makes it fairly easy to deal with if you're strong enough. Otherwise, we recommend using shot weapons like the tranq gun or shotgun to finish it off.
The Reaper, also known as the Scarecrow, is another line of sight-based enemy, though its vision range is quite short. It has 250 horsepower and deals 10 damage per hit. When it spots you, it starts marching in your direction, swinging its bladed arms. Be careful! It will also destroy any valuable items in its path.
It's pretty easy to get away from this one. Just run a short distance and crouch to break line of sight. You'll need 9 strength to pick it up, so your best option is usually using shop weapons. We're big fans of the tranq gun for dealing with the Reaper. Just be cautious, because its wild arm swings can knock items right out of your hands.
The Shadow Child is easy to avoid but can be really frustrating to kill. It has 150 horsepower and deals 30 damage. The way it works is if you look at it for too long, indicated by the shadowy arms growing out from its sides, it will pull you in and deal damage.
To avoid it, you can simply use the edge of your screen to track where it is without making direct eye contact. As for killing it, you can grab it with 9 strength and try tossing it around, but most of the time it vanishes before you can finish it off. Even when throwing it into pits, it tends to disappear before hitting the bottom.
Using a melee weapon or a gun is usually your best option. In a pinch, you can tumble roll into it. You'll take about 5 to 10 damage, but it will force the Shadow Child to vanish. Honestly, we usually just leave it alone unless it becomes a problem.
The Spewer is a small fish-like creature that swims around the area. When it sees a player, it panics and starts vomiting while moving closer. Once it gets close enough, it latches onto the player's face, causing their voice to sound deeper. From there, it occasionally vomits from the player's face. So be careful not to face valuables or other players since the vomit can damage them.
Technically, you can use the Spewer as a weapon, but it's not very effective. It doesn't harm the person it's attached to, and only deals 10 damage if you're hit by its green vomit.
You can easily kill it with 3 strength or by having teammates help smash it around. Throwing small valuable items at it also works well. It's generally not worth wasting shop weapons on, and simply hiding under furniture is a decent way to avoid it altogether.
The Trudge is the largest enemy in R.E.P.O, with 500 horsepower and a powerful attack that deals 100 damage. When it sees a player, it slams its mace into the ground, pulling in nearby players and creating a blast with an area of effect. This AoE can also damage valuables, so be extra cautious around loot.
Most of the time, the blast won't hit you through walls, but it can, so don't rely on that entirely. The Trudge moves slowly, and like many enemies, can be avoided by crouching and staying out of its path. It can be picked up at 13 strength, but using the tranq gun is usually the safest and easiest way to take it down. The baseball bat is also an option if you manage to get close, though that's a riskier play.
We usually just avoid the Trudge rather than fighting it, since it's surprisingly easy to stay out of its range. If you're strong enough to use medium-sized objects, you can also stun it that way. One simple method that works is getting in close, then backing up just before the attack. That's often enough to dodge it completely.
The Upscream is a seriously dangerous enemy when it shows up near pits or other monsters. Otherwise, it's pretty easy to handle. It only has 50 horsepower, so if you catch it off guard, it's super easy to kill with a small item.
It deals only 10 damage per hit, but it will keep attacking repeatedly as long as it sees you, and escaping its combo is tough. When it attacks, it walks up, grabs you, and throws you into a ball form, making you unable to move. Then it grabs you again, usually before you can recover.
You only need 3 strength to throw it around, which makes that a solid strategy. As mentioned, just smacking it with a small item is very effective, especially since the soul it drops is worth around $3,000.
A cool trick. If you're standing against a wall and it tries to throw you, you'll bounce back and hit it for about 25 damage, which is half its health.
The gnomes are pretty straightforward enemies. They have extremely low HP, so you can grab them easily and toss them into walls or objects to break them instantly.
They'll try to run up and hit you, dealing 10 damage on contact. If you're near valuables, they'll also go for those, so make sure to keep an eye on your cart when gnomes are nearby.
One really useful tip, by holding left click anytime your cursor hovers over a gnome, it will auto grab it. From there, just smash it. Quick and easy.
You can use a similar strategy on the bangers. They're another simple enemy, but can be really dangerous around pits.
Bangers have 50 horsepower and will light their fuse before walking straight towards you. Just before they explode, they make a distinct sound and let out a scream. The explosion deals 30 damage if you're right next to them. Plus, it launches you through the air.
The best ways to deal with bangers are throwing them into pits, holding them over a fireplace, or just slamming them up and down while holding them. If you're holding a banger away from your body when it explodes, you won't take any damage.
So if it's just one banger, you can literally grab it and hold it at a distance right before it blows up, and you'll be completely fine.
Some additional tips. Most enemies will turn to face you if you sprint nearby, but they usually won't react if you're just walking. For the larger enemies that require 9 or 13 strength to pick up, we recommend using the shotgun or trank gun. If you prefer melee combat, the baseball bat and sledgehammer are both solid choices. You can also use medium-sized objects to bash these tougher enemies effectively.
For smaller enemies, it's best to go the strength route. Pick them up and toss them around either on your own or with help from friends. Alternatively, small items work great to finish them off.
As a bonus tip, for any enemy with 250 HP, you can instantly kill it using the clown valuable. Just honk its nose 3 times. On the 3rd honk, the clown head will start spinning. You'll have a few seconds to throw it at an enemy and it will explode on impact.
Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any new uploads.
And while you're waiting for the next video, you can check out other interesting videos on our channel.